be easy to lose your license in this car. Oh my goodness. G'day, I'm Matt. This car here is the Honda Civic Type R, and it could be the right car for you if you want one of the fastest, best hot hatches on the market and you've got a fair bit of money to spend on it. Stay tuned, there's a lot to get through, and this is going to be a little bit of a faster review because this is a fast car. The Honda Civic Type R is a very expensive Honda Civic, but it's also a pretty expensive hot hatch at $72,400 drive away. It does cost a lot compared to its rivals, and I'll tell you more about some of the best competitors in the next segment, but you should know that it comes with a bunch of standard equipment, including LED lighting all around the car, 19-inch alloy wheels with Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tyres. They are fantastic tyres, and inside you get a 9-inch touchscreen media system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, plus there's a 10-inch digital instrument display for the driver, a lovely Alcantara or micro suede trimmed steering wheel, fantastic seats. They are sports seats in red trim and they look fantastic. There's also red carpet which looks amazing, and you should also know that this car comes stacked with heaps of standard safety technology. I'll tell you more about that in the safety section. When it comes to competitors to this car, if you want a front-wheel drive hot hatch with heaps of power and torque, there are a few that you should be looking at, including the Cupra Leon VZX, which has basically a Volkswagen Golf R powertrain but sends all its power to the front wheels. And if you want a Volkswagen Golf R, then you get all-wheel drive, and it's a fantastic hot hatch, also available as a wagon. I love that wagon. I think it's one of the best performance vehicles on the market. And then you could also be checking out the Toyota GR Corolla. Hit the link at the top of your screen there and you'll be able to check out my review of that car. It's all-wheel drive and manual only, so it's a little bit different to this. This is manual only as well, but it's one of the most accomplished all-wheel drive hot hatches on the market and very, very entertaining as well. Would I choose any of them over this? I'm not so sure. It's a hot hatch. It's available in 4 different colors. I wouldn't choose black personally, but some people really love it. It's about 4.5 meters long, so it's not the smallest hot hatch on the market. It's only got 4 seats, so that might rule it out for you, but it does have a decent sized boot with a massive wing on it. How about that wing? That's amazing. All right, let's check out the boot, see if it's suitable for a family. Hot hatches are supposed to be both powerful and practical, and this one ticks the box for both. It's got a plenty big boot space back here. You'll see the figure on your screen now, and it's definitely big enough to fit a pram and some extra shopping bags, or a weekend's worth, or maybe even a week's worth of luggage, depending how light you pack. It is a decent sized space, and it does have this strange retractable cargo cover that just sort of sits there out of the way when you don't need it. I just wish they wouldn't have that. It'd just be a nice weight saving measure. How about that, Honda? Now, speaking of weight saving measures, there is no spare wheel under the boot floor here, so that might be a concern for you. Just depends where you live, I guess. Keep this bit quick as well. So the interior is much like a regular Civic, but it does have some really, really nice touches for the Type R version, obviously. You've got these sports seats, which are absolutely fantastic. They are so comfortable and so supportive. Firm, yet yielding, as I like to say. There's also this Type R embossing on the headrest here. It looks really nice in here as well. I'm a massive fan of the red carpet. I think that, you know, it rolls out for you, doesn't it? So it really is a really nice cabin in terms of the materials chosen. I think the attention to detail that Honda has paid with this current generation Civic range is fantastic. Just the little things that feel so nice when you are interacting with them every single day, like the vent controls, which are just these lovely little levers here through this meshed finish, which looks fantastic. And I love this little tactile. I love the feeling and the sound of that blissful little control action. And also that's where your climate controls are. Your touchscreen media system is very simple to get used to, and it's also got a couple of buttons and dials down the side as well, which I really like. And you've got the digital instrument cluster for the driver with a rev light, so it'll tell you when it's time to shift up. When it goes red, you've gone too far. And then you've also got a lovely steering wheel with this material finish on it, which I absolutely love. I'm sure it's going to be fantastic for wicking the sweat away from your hands, because this car is quite a handful in a good way. Speaking of the material finishes, I love this shifter. It's just got this lovely knob feel to it. And there's also a drive mode selector down here with a plus R button for when you want to really plus the R out of it. Storage is good too. Wireless phone charger here, a couple of cup holders here. There's a storage section here, bottle holders in the doors, very well sorted from that perspective. There is no sunroof, which could be annoying for some buyers. And also this black roof liner might be annoying for some buyers, if you were me, for example. Now, let's check out the second row. If you're like me and you love interior practicalities and amenities, this isn't going to be the right car for you because it is pretty bare bones in the second row. Obviously, it's all about that seat, not back here, but there could be more back here, to be honest. It's a 4-seater, not a 5-seater, so there's no middle seat. There are a pair of cup holders down here, and that's it. Basically, you've got bottle holders in the doors, obviously. There's no map pockets, there's no air vents, there's no USB ports. It is pretty basic back here, but space is good. I'm 6 foot tall, 182 centimeters, heaps of headroom, lots of leg room, heaps of foot room. It's a good spot. Forgot to mention there are ISO fixed points and top tethers, and they've got this handy little cover for them, which is nice. Yeah, it just lacks a few creature comforts. Under the bonnet of the Civic Type R, you've got a 2-litre 4-cylinder turbo petrol engine, which has 235 kilowatts of power and 420 newton meters of torque, which is enough to help it get from 0 to 100 in a claimed 5.4 seconds, which is very, very fast for a hot hatch. It's also got a 6-speed manual as standard, front-wheel drive as standard, with a clever helical limited slip differential that will basically help apportion the torque where it needs to go so you never run out of grippy tractionness when you are going through some corners. Speaking of which, let's do it. Wow! Yeah, it'd be easy to lose your license in this car. Oh my goodness. It just has so much ability and so much capability when it comes to going fast. Wow. It's like a race car, but registered. Maybe it isn't as fast as it feels. Maybe that's the trick with this car. Like any good hot hatch, it should feel really fast to drive. And in this firm suspension setup mode, wow, yeah. It does almost feel kind of like a super fast go-kart, and it's got such fantastic, I guess, tenacity when it comes to cornering, because it's just got heaps of cornering grip, and also the steering is phenomenal. It's really, really accurate and super duper quick, so all you have to basically do is think about changing directions and you've done it. It does have adaptive dampers, so it will adjust the firmness of the ride based on which drive mode you're in. In the Plus R mode that I'm in now, it's at its stiffest, and it feels very much intact with what's happening on the road surface. Obviously, stopping is just as important as going when it comes to a hot hatch, and this car has massive Brembos up the front, which really do help pull things up fast. Let me just give you an example. Wow, my face feels weird now. It is phenomenal that they can get 235 kilowatts and 420 newton meters to the ground through the front tires only, with so little fuss about it. Yes, there is torque steer, even though that helical limited slip differential system is fantastic when it comes to maintaining traction through corners, especially the tighter ones. But honestly, this car, this might reset the benchmark for hot hatches. Honda has this amazing reputation for the way the manual transmissions that they offer feel when you shift gears, and this one is no exception. It just has this terrific mechanical feel to it, but it's also slinky, and you do feel like you can feel exactly what's happening underneath your hand in the gearbox. It's great. The shift is one part, but the clutch action is really good too. It's nicely weighted, it's not too heavy, and that means that even in driving in urban situations, it's not hard work, this car. I guess one thing that I wish it did maybe a little bit more was have a bit more theatre and drama to it. Not to say that it isn't dramatic to drive, just that it doesn't have all the pops and crackles and wheezing and all that sort of noise that you get from some other hot hatches. I mean, if you want that, a Hyundai i30N for what, $25,000, $30,000 less is going to tick the box for you. But this car, yeah, this is a very different machine to an i30N. I might have to do an edit of just my face being surprised. Jesus, this thing is epic. Okay, it's time to go and speak with my accountant. I think I need one of these. The other beautiful thing about this car is you don't need to always be in the fast mode. So you can put it in comfort and it's a perfectly livable, quite sedate car to drive around. I guess one other thing that is a criticism about this car is it's very noisy inside. It's unrelenting in that regard and in a few others, but it's just, I mean, a price you have to pay if you're buying a hot hatch with this sort of performance. The official combined cycle fuel consumption figure is 8.9 litres per 100 Ks for the Civic Type R, and so that's what you should be able to achieve across a mix of driving. I haven't seen that low during my time with this car, but then again, I haven't been driving it sedately, let's say, in most situations, even though I do have my baby seat in the back and did the daycare drop off with it, so it is a perfectly livable dual purpose car. But yeah, you'll see the figure on screen now for what I achieved during my loan in this car. A little bit higher than the claim, unsurprisingly. The Honda Civic Type R is well equipped when it comes to safety technology, including autonomous emergency braking. There's lane keeping assistance and blind spot monitoring with rear cross traffic alert. There's a reversing camera, front and rear parking sensors, and you also score 11 airbags in this model, including dual front head airbags, dual knee airbags for the front passengers, front side airbags, a front center airbag, and there's also rear side airbags and curtain airbags as well. Heaps of airbags. Honda offers a 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty for the Civic Type R. There's 5 years of roadside assist, 5 years of sat-nav mapping updates, 5 years of connected services, and 5 years of cap price servicing as well. The servicing is every 12 months or 10,000 kilometres, and the costs are pretty low at $199 per visit. I reckon this is one of the best hot hatches that I've ever driven, and I've driven plenty, and it's also one of the most accomplished hot hatches on the market right now. It does cost a lot of money, but you're getting a lot of car for your money. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. Would you choose a Civic Type R over any of the rivals I've mentioned, or would you be shopping up a little bit higher into something maybe a little bit more premium? I'd love to hear from you. If you haven't already, please do hit like and subscribe, and I hope you've enjoyed this fast review.